Welcome. This is the Simply King podcast. I'm your boy, Rodney Perry, also known as King, and you're now listening to the Soulfully Conscious podcast for humans, simply being humans. I'm Rodney Perry, as I say so again, also known as King for all those who are listening for the first time. I welcome you. Welcome to 2023. Welcome to Black History Month. Welcome to the month of love. Welcome to the month that is shared with every other occasion. But we're going to be positive. Hope the year's already been good to you. If you're new, if you're coming back, listening again, make sure that you like, rate, subscribe. I'm not playing with y'all this year. Make sure you like, rate, and motherfucking subscribe. It helps us. It gets us pushed. It does the things. Make sure you follow me on everything at Kings_Memoirs on all social media platforms. Follow the podcast at Simply King Pod. And make sure that you subscribe to the Patreon. It's only $5 to get it going. It's $20 if you want to have an even better time. They're actually getting a different version of this episode. You want to see what I did? You want to see what was going on? Who knows? Maybe it's not safe for work. Who knows? Oof. The suspense. Go spend that bread. Support a young creative who's been doing it for a while. But let's get into it. This is a great episode. We're talking about men. Yet again, we're starting the year off talking about men. But it's going to be enlightening. I think y'all going to enjoy it. So buckle in. It's going to be dope. This is Simply King. So y'all, I hope y'all doing good. I'm here. It's Grammy night. I feel like, shout out to Viola Davis. She won an EGOT. I think Beyonce got some more gold hardware. I heard Black folks doing good. Steve Lacy, I seen he had some, just a quick little thing, since I don't be tapping in like that, but I seen that. You feel me? I seen that. But more than anything, I want y'all to tap in with me. Make sure I'm gonna say it more often, because I feel like y'all need more direction. Y'all need me to tell you what to do a little bit. You know what I'm saying? And that's okay. I'll tell you what to do. It ain't king for nothing. You feel me? I'll let you know. But if you can't tell by the title of this episode, we are getting into something that I think is honestly one of the most common phrases on the internet last year, and still on the internet today. But let me not get too deep, because we got a whole segment for things that get into things a little too deep. You feel me? But let's start with the Twitter check-in. So, today's Twitter check-in is something that I think has become one of my favorite versions of the Twitter check-in, and that is search. And you know what I searched? As a man, why? The title of this episode, because it felt so appropriate. And let me tell you about some of my favorite tweets. And I'll, make sure to bubble those things all up over here, but let's get right into it, shall we? From Melissa Ong 6420. As a man, why are you telling me your opinion about me? ? LMAO. Ill. From Bite EEEE. Me EEEE. I think she also goes by Bree as well. Says, as a man, why are you 5'8"? 5'8"? ? As a man, from Zaza My Odor. As a man, why are you ordering pink lemonade when regular lemonade was an option? Pink lemonade. And then we have from Drama King _. As a man, why are you wearing thong flip-flops? Now, these are some of the ones that I got on the beginning of the month. But let's do it again. Let's give today a try. Let's see if we can find some that are fresh to the timeline. Because you know what? I'm trying to prove a point here. Fresh. Okay, that's silly. Okay. From 88 Lena. At 88 Lena. As a man, why are you pressing record and not showing us furniture being built, appliances being fixed, or small home renovations? Why are you, as a man, on the platform? That's a little flip on it with the why first question. Maybe that's they English majors. You feel me? As a man, this is a good one. As a man, why are you blocking a woman? Why are you blocking her? But no, let's get into it. I feel like I've got enough off my chest because it's silly. It's just silly at this point. Let me make sure I save all these joints. It's just getting to the point to where it's like we in a real interesting time, But no, I want y'all to understand something. It's fun and games, I understand the joke of it all. And I think, a trend is a trend, but I do think that there is some truth to be told in almost every trend that kind of, comes out of the internet. And I think that the truth in this trend is that masculinity is so black, masculinity specifically, is so malleable when you really think about it. It's so malleable, but narrow. It's malleable from a context of you can really do what you want with it, but you gotta stand on it. That's really it. We can end the episode right there. You can do what you want with your manhood, but to do it, you gotta stand on it. Period. It's what it is. It's what it is. And the phenomenon honestly comes out into the world all the time. Men respect other men who have a certain size and certain confidence about themselves, appear very sure of themselves, seem like they are protective, seem like they might whoop your ass, all types of stuff. There's a respect there, but that's very patriarchal to kind of in that context. But a man confidently wearing a certain color, having his chest out, rocking a bag, if you just flip it and make it into somebody who you already respect, then you wouldn't say it's gay, homosexual, metrosexual. You wouldn't call it anything. You would say that's just let Mike Tyson all of a sudden just start wearing blouses. Ain't no man gonna tell Mike Tyson that he's gay. Why? I wonder. As a man, why are you wearing a blouse? Because men can wear a blouse. It could be that simple. But I did write an actual detailed outline that I should be following. But I'm back, y'all. So I'm riffing with y'all. I'm riffing. You know what I'm saying? I ain't looked down at nothing yet. You know what I'm saying? You ain't seen there's probably been some cuts in here, but let me not ramble. But this is what I did in my overall kind of thinking about preparing about this episode. Because we need to address this overall viral phrase of as a man, why? And what it really means. And I really want to analyze and take the time out to say that we are on the precipice of a true volatile moment for the state of genuine black men to really understand and see the opportunity that they can have. We're already joking about it. We're already understanding that it's a joke when it comes to the definition and the narrowness that manhood and masculinity has presented itself to be. Because that's what makes the joke funny. The joke is funny because men really only can do this many things. You got to fit in this box. You got to stay in the lanes. You got to stay in this narrow space. Why is that? Because you're not a man. The definition of man is so narrow. And if you step out of that line, you aren't a man. You might not be a woman either. You're just null. You feel me? Just null. Men all over are being challenged to address their past and present and hoping to present more for the future for all. Genuinely, I think that's a deep feeling that a lot of men have. Last year, I started talking about the emergence of Black Male-Led Podcast. You can check it out. No Mic for Grown Men was what it was called. And it's a, play on words, but really I kind of just addressed the idea that there are men out here doing the right things on this podcast media space who've been doing it good and doing it positively for quite some time, and also add myself into that, into that troop of people. But there are so many more that are so popular, getting all types of vibes, getting all types of monies, getting all types of promo and ad dollars because they have sensationalized the idea of arguing with women and degrading women and boosting up some sense of masculinity to be something that really needs quote unquote protection. And especially from a context of it being the most hyper masculine and toxic version of itself. But that's what that is. But I continue. I believe this phrase came from the basis of so many viral moments. And the sad part is only half of them are genuinely jokes. Keep that in mind. I know I read out some of those things from Twitter, but to be quite honest, there are people who feel that way. I was seeing, and when I first did that search, it was, as a man, why are you smoking hookah? Smoke a cigar like a real man. And as a man, why are you even crying? You don't supposed to cry. It's a tweet, but it's a joke, right? Look, jokes can hurt. But I continue. I feel like my analysis on the overall phenomenon is genuinely this. As always, I want more for niggas. And I mean that comprehensively. Women, men, and anybody in between. Because we got to be accountable. Speaking to the men specifically, we got to be accountable to what it is that's being said of us. For the weirdos that are amongst our ranks. Some of your brethren, and let me take a sip on that one. The weirdos that are amongst our ranks need to be checked. We need to hold ourselves accountable and the men around accountable. Because there's a lot of weirdos with mics these days. It's getting strange. If you can't distinguish the weirdo, you're probably the weird one. Just letting you know. We got to admit that patriarchy has really done a hell of a job on us. And the definition of man is so narrow that it's imperative that we redefine it, that we expand it, that we make it into something that's way more broader and truly imaginative to how you want to show up and identify as a man plus these things. It's so damn narrow. It's like no leg room on an economy flight. It's so narrow that it's kind of like, it's like a trying to fit on a twin XL bed, thinking that you're gonna be cute, with your little college girlfriend. It's crazy. We got to redefine ourselves as men. I'm telling y'all, this is the time. There's no better time than now. Who do you want to be? What is your definition of man? It can be exactly the way you see it to be. Not the way the world does, the way you see it to be. Many men have issues and complexes that I think are based around this overall phenomenon. A lot of men genuinely police themselves based off of how this will look to their manhood. Will their manhood be tested, tried, or taken away if they appear in a certain way? Are you a real man if you don't know how to change a tire? Are you a real man if you don't know how to use a gun? Are you a real man if you don't know a thing about sports? I can keep going. And it's just off the top. I think that we need to expand it to a point to where we genuinely understand that manhood and masculinity are things that can be way less fragile than what they are, because narrow things break easily. Narrow things break easily, y'all. It needs to be broad. It needs to be bold. It needs to be big for it to really be something that's substantial. But I don't know if everybody's ready to do the work, because it's going to take work. It's going to take work, fellas. Listen to me. I think that we got to sit here and address like, hey, I'm showing up and how I'm showing up, and that's not really good enough for me. I don't like the idea that I have to do this and I have to do that. I'm saying be as radical as you want to be with your definition of manhood. It's not just because you have a genitalia that just so happens to fit the quote unquote gender, but it's also the fact that you identify, you show up as so, and you truly stand on that being your self-definition. Black men are the most predisposed to definition outside themselves. People put definitions on us all the time. We're thugs. We're statistics. There's something wrong with us in some way, shape, or form. We're automatically flawed. So many different things. And the main one is that we have allowed everybody to write our stories for us. We've been coddled. And we've been coddled to the point to where that's the only comfort place we genuinely know how to be. We've been coddled by our mothers and fathers and communities, that once we become adults, we just try to find a woman who can coddle us too, or a man who can coddle us too, thinking that they can save us, but they can't. We got to find that self-definition and stand in that 10 toes down. You hear me? 10 toes. But you got to be real with yourself. You really do. And if you're not, then it's going to be problems. It's going to be an issue. It's going to be something. You got to be real. You got to keep it real with yourself. Because the fact of the matter is that it's weird if you don't. It only affects you in the end. And who wins when you do that? Who genuinely wins? Nobody. If you got kids, they don't get anything from you being attached to the idea that masculinity has to be this way, so it makes you only act in very specific ways. You don't even express your emotions because of that reason, because you think that, you've come off weak, and men aren't weak if you go to therapy. You got to do the work. You got to do the work. I want everybody to understand something in 2023, that therapy not only is healthy for you, but it's not something that women have now weaponized to shame men with, because they've gone and went and started doing the work, and they're looking at you even more differently because they now have the language to describe the behavior that you expose yourself to do to them. And those behaviors can have so many different, labels and personality names attached to them. And that is something that, I think needs some adjustment in the whole overall internets. I think it's kind of weird that, people throw around the word narcissism so much. But I think that the reason why that's happening is because people are starting to, adopt psychological terms into their lexicon for so many different reasons. They want to be able to explain exactly what it is. I want y'all to understand something before I get into my Send It On, because this is the first episode. I ain't want to do too much for y'all, but I really want to come and talk to you and just let you know that I'm back, let you know that it feels good to be back. And I want y'all to know I've done the work myself. I've started to do the work because the work isn't done. Let me say it like that. And I think that for me, that the thing that I had to understand for myself is that I am a man who is flawed. I'm a man who doesn't know what the hell I'm doing. Grew up with a single mom, so the examples of men around me really weren't the best because they weren't consistent. And the ones that were consistent had a major impact on me. So I know that it's a big thing about who it is and who's showing up and how they show up and what really attaches to that child, to that young man. For me, I know I'm, forever changed because of my relationship with Oren Christie, a man that was with my mom for quite some time. Literally, the reason why I have a tattoo is because of words he spoke to me. And I'll say that to y'all, and we can wrap it up. You always control your perception. You always control your perception is what's on my arm. And Oren said that to me because it was a conversation about, high school, the idea of being popular. I don't know what warranted this conversation, because I don't think that was really a thing I cared that much about. It's not TV, where it's like, that's the in crowd. That's not, I don't think that really existed in my high school, but it was something that stuck with me. And the biggest thing is that it's empowering as hell, because he made it very clear to me that you always control your perception, because people can think so many things about you. But what are you doing to contribute to what they think? There are certain actions, certain behaviors that are undeniable. Everyone, no matter who you are, you control your perception. You're allowing things to be seen from you, and they're all being misinterpreted? Or are you not telling the right story? Are you not controlling your own narrative? Are you not speaking into the world as you see fit so that there's no misconstruction? You are who you are because you are who you are, period. Nobody can get it mixed up when they know who you are, when you show who you are. So in this year, I want to be more vulnerable with y'all on this, podcast. I want to bring on some really great guests. But I also want to have the real conversations about men and how we need to improve and how we need to show up better. Because as a man, as myself, I want to be the best I can be. And it's kind of like, I'm not going to allow for anybody to tell me who I am going to be, who I'm not going to be, and what I'm not capable of. I'm getting the pink lemonade. I got some lemonade today. It ain't pink, but that's funny. You feel me? I'm getting it. I'm going to wear the clothes I want to wear. I'm going to do what I want to do. And I hope you join me, because you should. Because you should, but not too much. But I think it's interesting. I think it's funny. And I think that if you as a man feel a way about that, the fact that the as a man, why thing is a thing, start to take a look at yourself. Start to ask yourself why these phenomenons of, men ain't shit, all men are trash, niggas ain't shit. Think about why these things continuously become trends, become things, and why they become a part of the zeitgeist. And contextualize those things. Understand that they mean what they mean, but they also need to be addressed because there's something happening. There's something wrong happening. We can change the narrative. We can shift the paradigm if we care to. If we care to. That's all I'm saying. But let's send it on. Yes. Ooh. Today's Send It On is, I believe I'm giving 10 either tips, gift, and ideas for Valentine's Day. This episode is coming out, what's this? What is this? On the 6th. So you don't got much time. This episode is coming out on the 6th, so you don't have much time. And so I hope that you're doing whatever you gotta do to lock in with the love you got. Now, I try my best to make this as unisex as possible, but I feel like it's a specific type of person that needs this help. So if they are a listener of the podcast, or if you believe they need some help a friend, help them out, send this part to them right now. Okay? But here we go. First tip, play to your person's love languages. I've already posted a clip about this. More than likely going to find it on TikTok and repost that every year at this point, because it's just a good principle to have to basically make sure that you are, doing your thing, doing what you need to do to make sure that you covering all the bases. And you can get straight to it by just thinking about what their main love language is. Now, that is something that I think is definitely for people who have, known each other for quite some time, but it also can be something that you do even in the midst of something new. If you don't know the love language, do them all. Make it a thing about the senses, bruh. Just do it. It'll work. Be resourceful. So, example, do you know a personal chef? Can they cook some food for you? That might be a vibe. Enlist help from your friends who may not be doing anything at all and can assist you to prepare a gift or some type of sentiments. Think about who you know. There's probably a great gift right under your nose that you just ignore. Pay your friend to be the one to cook. Pay your mom to be the one to prepare a flower arrangement. Be resourceful. Get the help. Pay for the help. You don't got that much time, so it can't be that thoughtful. It just needs to be some thought, though. You understand? Number 3, replace all of her beauty products. That should easily be available, more than likely. And replace all of his too, ladies. That's a good one to have. Get him some new beard oil. Number 4, get custom and embroidered printed items / printed items. Sometimes the turnaround time is not too long. But I believe that Valentine's Day is on a Tuesday this year. I believe that somebody, y'all correct me if I'm wrong, but you can get that back if you're ordering it today. Get the name, get a letter, get something that's useful in the crib that she can use or they can use as a decoration in their crib. Get them a big old M on their cutting board. Get them a cool pot holders. Whatever makes sense. Make sure it's not corny. Make sure it matches their style, obviously. Get the ideas from their crib. And also implore, opinions from, other people who are into certain decor decorations and things like that, style and so on and so forth. If you feel like you're not the most stylish person, still a great gift though. Especially last minute. Make a love coupon book as a sentimental accompaniment. Now, this isn't just a solo gift. I don't think if it's a solo gift, I don't think it would work unless the sentiments is really just that strong. If y'all, I think that's a gift that would be great solo if y'all are like 50 years in or something like that. But this is love. This is new love. This is 2023. You're going to have to swipe that Visa and come with something else. That's all I'm saying. So, next, book the all-day spa. I booked the spa day on Valentine's Day probably like a week in advance. If you live in a major city, there's more than one spa or massage parlor or something like that. Massage Envy got like 1,000 locations. You feel me? You can find a place. Make it make sense. Especially if they off that day. Especially if you can convince them to be off that day. Just get an all-day spa. Tell them to call off work. You don't work. And y'all spend the whole day getting rubbed down, getting scrubbed, getting in the sauna, feeling good, feeling sexy with each other, drinking wine, getting drunk. Y'all might not even make it to dinner because y'all having such a good time all day. Who knows? To be quite honest. Sounds like a good time to me. Now, this is one that I just thought of. Day trip in a neighboring city. And they trip in a neighboring city. And basically, all you have to do is I'm gonna restart my music. Day trip in a neighboring city. Now, Reason why I say this one is because I think it's something that's spontaneous. I think it's something that's clever. I think it's something that could help you just do something new, create a cool sentiment, create a good memory. It could be dope, you know? Just go somewhere, book a trip, book book if you want to, book a room is the next one for your introverts. Book a room in the city that you live in. You can do this also on a day trip if you like, if, depending on what it is. You want to spend the night, you know what I'm saying? That could be a thing. Quick little trip though, somewhere close by, somewhere you can drive to is what I mean by the day trip. But book a room for the introverts. If your girl is an introvert, your person is an introvert, book a room. Book a room. Have activities. Have food. Make sure it's soft, comfortable, and warm in there. And y'all ain't got to go nowhere. She don't want to be out. She don't want to be outside. She ain't trying to get dressed up. That's cool. Stay in. Somewhere else. Stay in, but somewhere else. You understand? And then lastly, buy diamonds in a card. It's been working since the beginning of time. A diamond something, anything in a card. Swipe it. Get it. They're going to appreciate it. They're going to think that you're doing enough. You've done enough. I appreciate it. This is love. Call Kays, call Jared, call Icebox, whoever it is. Get it done. That's my Send It On. And I have finally reached a nice, good time. And I really want y'all to understand something, that I appreciate y'all. I love y'all. It's going to be one interesting year. I'm calling it already. I'm planning on being on location with certain episodes with some of my guests this year. So if you believe that you should be a guest, or you believe you know someone who'll be a great guest for the podcast, let me know. I'm not saying I'm going to come to wherever they at now. If they close, then cool. I'm in Atlanta, so there's enough people in Atlanta you could suggest. Give me your cousin or your line brother, your line sister. Y'all got enough people in Atlanta. Y'all can direct me to somebody. I'll reach out to them, or you can make the connection, whatever it makes sense. Make sure that you like, rate, subscribe. Make sure that you go to Kings_Memoirs on all platforms, giving y'all content. Make sure that you subscribe to the Patreon. Only $5 to get it going and $20 to make it hot. Go see what it's about. You understand? Make sure that you follow the podcast at Simply King Pod. And make sure that you also make sure you follow Life is King on Instagram to stay up to date with all the digital marketing services and creative production needs that you might need provided to you. Get at me. Get more details at lifeisking.com. Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel. If you're watching this on YouTube, smash that like button and hit that subscribe. I appreciate y'all so much. This has been the Soulfully Conscious Podcast for Humans Simply Being Humans. I've been Rodney Perry. This has been As a Man Why, the first episode of the year. Let's have a good year.